car, Turbo 51, over here for the final time of our F1 2019 career mode. Guys, it's the end of Season 3, it's the end of our career mode, but we're gonna try and end it off with a bang. The championship is still up for plays. The Drivers' Championship, however, not the Constructors. Unfortunately, Racing Point beat us to the punch, but now I can just focus on myself and have the best possible weekend here in Abu Dhabi. If you guys don't remember, a season ago, we actually won this Grand Prix. So please drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you 2 seconds, and it helps me out a lot. Performance chart-wise, we at McLaren are still in P1, Red Bull are now P2, Racing Point P3, Ferrari P4, Haas P5, Renault are now in P6, Mercedes-Benz P7, Williams P8, Alfa Romeo Racing on P9, and Scuderia Toro Rosso, like the whole season, are still in P10. Now guys, heading into this weekend, like I said, there is still a chance for me to lose the championship. There's not a lot of points in the championship, and I know Lucas Weber has gained back some of that momentum that he had at the beginning of the season. 14 points is all that stands in between us and Lucas Weber. The Constructors, we will seal P2. There's no way Ferrari can catch us, but I wish we could have gotten the Constructors as well. But for now, we've got the Drivers' Championship to worry about. It's Turbo v Weber, Racing Point v McLaren. It's not just about us, it's about what the team can give us this weekend when it comes to strategy and how good the car is gonna be. I'm really looking forward to this weekend, but I'm also stressing my hiney off, you know? My butt is doing the pinching thing very badly. So maybe you guys could see it practice one. This was just me having a little bit of a gander on the hard tires, pushing flat out with everything I got, and it just didn't work out like I wanted to. Follow me on my social media platforms, guys, Twitter, Instagram. Share this video with your friends and tag me at the post or the story, and I will give you a shout out on social media and on YouTube. But without further ado, let's head straight to the Abu Dhabi qualifying.
Here we are at the beautiful Yas Island circuit, where qualifying is about to begin. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the action. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
Guys, jumping straight to the end of Q1, Devon Butler goes quickest in Q1. I just went out for one run, got myself P11. Lucas Weber is up in P3. And I've got to say, guys, throughout the weekend, the Racing Points were looking very strong. I knew that actually we came into this weekend on the back foot. Even though the performance chart says that we are the quickest car on grid, the Racing Point has got a fantastic chassis.
We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Guys, heading to our final run in Q2. But back to the story. The Racing Point has got an exceptional chassis underneath it. And this track is very chassis-centered. So I felt that disadvantage. But we had to make with what we had. We come across the line after we had a little bit of a moment there at the end of the lap. But we come through in P8. Lucas Weber actually goes P2. Ferrari have also showed up this weekend, being very quick in the form of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. And guys, it's crunch time. I mean, look, from P1 to P10, it's less than 4 tenths, guys. It's very close between the whole grid, and now the sun has gone down, the lights have turned on, and it is now time to descend into darkness.
At the end of this lap.
Thank you very much, Jeff. We have descended into darkness, but it actually just gets a little prettier here in Abu Dhabi when the sun goes down. So yeah, guys, heading into the end of the session for our final run in Q3, our final run on F1 2019 in qualifying.
All personnel be aware, car leaving.
Guys, I will touch upon this at the end of the episode, but I am a little bit emotional. This has by far been the best game that Codemasters have ever made, and this game will forever be a highlight on my channel. But guys, we start our final lap with 16 seconds to go on the clock. Let's go around this beautiful Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi for our final full-blown quali lap. into these two S's. It's a left into a right. It's flat out. Don't you dare lift the throttle. Downhill, bump the car back down to high mode. Brake as late and as hard as possible. Mount the outside curve to take the esports line. Don't be scared of those big orange sausage curbs on the inside. The cars can handle them with the engine that F1 2019 boasts. Here we go, onto the first of the two back straights. Open up DRS, overtake on the ERS. We barrel down this part of the track.
Max is currently P2. Their best lap time is a 1 minute 30.2.
Okay, that was a really stupid time to ask a question like that, but in any case, guys, through the middle sector chicane, now onto the second back straight, which is a constant curve. We bumped the car down to overtake mode once again. We had a beautiful exit coming out of the chicane. Now heading into a corner that reminds me of Ascari back in Monza. It's a triple chicane. We go left, right, back into a left-hander. Mount the curb as much as you can. Another right-hander. Oh, left-hander. Another left-hander. Into this double right-hander. Into a very tight right-hander as we enter Sector 3. Well, we are already in Sector 3. Underneath the beautiful Yas Marina Hotel. Look at the beautiful floodlights of the hotel. Into another left-hander. Heading towards the final two quarters of this lap. This seems like a good lap, but I don't feel the pace is here like it was last season back in the Haas. We enter the final quarter. Second gear to get the car to turn in. Power out as quickly as possible. And we are in P!
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Butler, Verstappen and Lucas Faber. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
Ah, crap. Guys, P10. Luckily no penalties for us, but it's gonna be a tough weekend. Let's head straight to the final race of the season.
Welcome to the Yas Island circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that's been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its short history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Marina circuit is made up of 3.4 miles of track, featuring 21 corners with 2 very long straights. DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both Turn 8 and Turn 11 offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners as well, in particular turns 15, 16 and 17, which will certainly test a driver's braking management. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Butler, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, O'Connor, Bottas, Magnussen and Max Verstappen, Gasly, Grosjean, George Russell and Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Albon, Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Kvyat and Lucas Weber completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
There's still a chance we can win this championship, so go out there and bring back the title.
Guys, like you guys just saw on the screen, F1 2020 is less than a week away, and it's crunch time. Okay, no, a little bit more than a week, but not the point, guys. We're going for gold. Lucas Weber is coming from the back. We're gonna have to watch out for him. He's gonna be stupidly quick. We're going for the 2-stop, but I'm rather gonna go softs, mediums, because the softs around this track are terrible. So guys, without further ado, for the final time, let's enjoy the formation lap together. Oh yeah. guys ready for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the final round of our third season? Can we become a two-time world championship here tonight? 5 red lights and it's go, go, go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez are on the front row with my teammate coming from behind as well as Carlos Sainz. Don't forget about Charles Leclerc. I go around the outside of Sebastian Vettel in the Red Bull, so I am up 1 position from my P7 starting position thanks to all the penalties throughout the grid. We go through this next corner. I am right behind Charles Leclerc and my teammate Evan Butler. Charles is very close to my teammate, but he sleeps and leaves the door wide open for myself. I go up the inside of Charles Leclerc heading into the chicane. The next part, it will be myself versus my teammate, the 2 McLaren drivers who have had a few kerfuffles this season, I'm not gonna lie, but we have still been good teammates. I feel the last time I think we really had a problem with each other was actually back at Bahrain, and then throughout the season there was a few tiny moments, but Bahrain was the biggest one where we had a crash in one of the practice sessions. Going up the inside of our teammate Evan Butler, you guys can see I am wasting no time whatsoever. Butler just tries to give you that one final shot before our F1 2019 career ends off, but we get the move done. No warnings there whatsoever. Let's take a look here from Devin Butler, guys. I literally think he just ran into me. I gave him more than enough space there, and he just ran straight into me. Look at this, guys, around on the inside and then on the outside. Yeah, he just literally rams me. He just bumps me off my line, but I already had the move done, so I did not have to give the position back to him. So now it is time to chase after the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, who got passed by Carlos Sainz heading into the first corner. So Carlos Sainz, in the exact same car that won the World Championship 1 season ago, is in P2, trying to chase down that Pink Panther of Sergio Perez, who is leading the way. I think Racing Point just want to establish their dominance this season one more time by getting a win here tonight, just to make that constructors advantage just see that a little bit more intense. But as we come into the final 2 corners to end off the first lap, it is Sergio Perez, Checo himself, leading the way from Carlos Sainz in P2. P3 it is Mr. Lewis Hamilton, and P4 myself. I've had a brilliant first lap, and it is now truly time to push as hard as we can. Heading on to the very next lap, guys, you guys can see my teammate actually is under pressure from Charles Leclerc. Heading into the chicane, Charles has got immense straight line speed in that Ferrari. He is going for the move around the outside, the opposite of what I did. Butler bounces his car over that inside curve, but Charles Leclerc gets the move done and gets himself up into P5, and he is going to try and latch onto this group, which includes myself. So you guys can see here, this is now Lewis Hamilton trying to make a move on Carlos Sainz, who already has lost the DRS on Sergio Perez, and it's only lap 3. Heading into this next corner, it's a very late onto the brakes for Hamilton. He locks up a double front lockup for Lewis Hamilton. That will make sure that Carlos Sainz keeps the position. I have a beautiful run there through the chicane, a little bit wide on the exit thanks to a little kick of oversteer, but we are right behind Lewis Hamilton. We go to the outside. Hamilton keeps the inside line. Will we be able to get the move done? We are on the brakes very late, but Hamilton sticks the Mercedes' nose in there. Side by side to the next chicane, I pitch him to the inside, and that is us up into the podium positions. Guys, I know I'm far ahead in the championship, but I cannot forget about Lucas Weber. That Racing Point is an absolute beast. We are overheating the front right tire, but we don't care. We go for the move on Carlos Sainz just the very next lap. Later to the brakes on the outside, just like with Hamilton. Sainz is very much more aggressive than Hamilton. We take the exact same line that we did with Hamilton coming out of that chicane, and this time we get a much better exit, but Carlos had just as good an exit as we did. We have to use this McLaren's very good Renault engine in the back that has seen a lot of upgrades this season. Heading into the corner, it is myself side by side with Carlos Sainz, but he seems to keep the horse in there, but luckily we get the move done before, just as we head into the third sector. Guys, rewinding back to my championship rival and my former Formula 2 teammate Lucas Weber. He has tried to get past the Toro Rosso of Danny Kvyat, and ahead of them it is actually the Toro Rosso of Albon and the Renault of Ricciardo battling as well. So will Weber make a triple move here? Well, not an exact triple move, but will he pass 3 cars in 2 DRS zones? Here comes Mr. Lucas Weber. It's 3-1 heading into the third sector, but Weber gets 3 cars in less than 30 seconds. You guys can see Lucas Weber has come out to play, and he's gonna play hard. Do you guys see we jump back on board here? Or is this Max Verstappen? I think this is Max Verstappen, not Leclerc. No, that is actually Charles Leclerc, who's going for a move on Lewis Hamilton. Carlos Sainz is trying to get back at me, while I am trying to get away to chase after Sergio Perez. Guys, race pace, I felt a lot more comfortable in the race than in qualifying. I don't know what happened in Q3. I thought that Q3 lap was near perfect, and we were still 1.1 seconds off the pace, which doesn't make sense to me at all, but it's not the point. Here we go, back on board with Lewis Hamilton, guys, who has now been overtaken by Charles Leclerc. Let's go on to his halo POV, the off-center halo POV. Here, guys, can see, here comes Leclerc on the rear end of Carlos Sainz, heading into the chicane. It's very close between the Ferrari and the Haas. Through this next corner, Hamilton goes for the beautiful line through there. He is right up behind them. It will be DRS for Sainz and for Hamilton, but Hamilton seems to have the overspeed, and the Haas doesn't seem to have the engine that it had when I left them. And Hamilton makes an easy move around the outside. He gets the move done even before we head into the braking zone, and that is a dominant overtake there from the 5-time world champion, 6-time world champion, 6-time world champion. We are the first car to blink, and I nearly just swallowed my tongue. Did you guys hear that? It's not the point. We are the first car to blink. We go off the softs onto the mediums. Guys, Sergio Perez was in a world of his own, and he was pushing extremely hard, so I went for a massive undercut. I knew that I was going to come out like P20.
One stop left in this strategy.
Thank you, Jeff. We know that. Coming out the coolest pit lane exit on the calendar, leave the best for last. We come underneath the little tunnel, and we come out right behind Daniel Ricciardo. Actually not in last place, but we are now right behind Ricciardo. As you guys see, we have already closed up to Ricciardo. The new mediums are extremely fast, and the McLaren was just more... I had more confidence on the mediums. The mediums just suited the McLaren a lot better than the softs. So you guys can see DRS is open. We had a beautiful exit coming out of the hairpin, and now it is myself and Daniel Ricciardo side by side, but not for long. We get the move done long before we get to the corner. Heading to the end of, I think this was the next lap actually, guys. Hamilton and Mercedes saw what myself and McLaren were trying, and they were going for exactly the same strategy. The Mercedes is not the car that it was in Season 1 and at the beginning of Season 2. So Mercedes need to really fight if they want good points. There comes Mr. Max Verstappen, and also I think Pierre Gasly into the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of the two Red Bulls. And as you guys see, coming to the end of that lap already, I'm already trying to pressure Lando Norris. Heading into the final corner, that's not an overtaking move at all. We get the move done on Lando Norris, but now he's trying to come back at us. Heading into the first corner because we had a terrible exit. I do not know what went through my mind to go for that crazy move, but we get the move done nevertheless. Heading on to this next part, guys, we are now right behind the Alfa Romeo of, is that Raikkonen or Giovinazzi? That is Mr. Raikkonen. We get the move done even before we get to the corner once again. And guys, look who's right ahead of us. It is the man, the former F2 teammate, and I say that way too much, but it is Mr. Weber. Here comes Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz diving into the pit lane, guys, at the end of lap 8, if I'm not mistaken. Here comes Leclerc onto the medium, so he is also going for a 2-stop. What is Mr. Sainz doing? He is going on to a second set of softs. Okay, so Haas are going very aggressive, just like we did last season, but last season we went softs, medium, softs. So now they're trying soft, mediums. We're going to have to keep an eye on Mr. Carlos Sainz. Coming to the end of the next lap, it is Mr. Sergio Perez coming into the pit lane for Racing Point, who at this stage is having a dominant performance. He comes into the pit lane to strap on a second set of soft tires, so he has actually compromised for me. And now, even if I'm ahead, which I don't think I will be, thanks to all the traffic, and especially my former teammate Roman Grosjean. What are you doing, Grosjean? Guys, I think Grosjean might just have cost me to take the lead here. If I had track position, I could have defended. But there goes Sergio Perez. And guys, I'm not negative, but on the quicker tire, which is fresher, he is as good as gone. We go for a massively aggressive move into the chicane to shove Roman Grosjean out of the way. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was extremely put off by that. I was just so mad at that stage because I knew Grosjean probably cost me a second Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But we will now just try and secure P2 because that will give us the championship. We cannot be selfish now and think about the win. We need to think about the World Championship because this man, Lucas Weber, is a lot further behind than he's supposed to be. And now he is going for a move on George Russell. Easy move onto the inside. There's nothing that George can do about it. And he's got the move done before we even head into the chicane. Now we jump onto the POV of one of the Ferraris. Is it Verstappen? Is it Leclerc? We'll find out now. And it is... I can still not see because I cannot see the number or the helmet. In any case, here comes the Ferrari. I think this will be Leclerc because he's fighting with a Mercedes. Oh, that is a very big lock up the guys. This is Verstappen because that is Bottas. Yes, it is the number 33 of Verstappen. So Leclerc's battling with Hamilton and Verstappen is battling with Bottas. It's a little bit of a cluster there, but it's okay. We will figure this out as the race gets to the end. Guys, the middle stint was really boring for Mr. Sergio Perez. He just led the way and absolutely schooled me lap after lap after lap. Some laps even taking out more than half a second on me, which was a little bit embarrassing. But guys, now I'm going for a little bit longer because the mediums do hold longer even if you put them on earlier. I was trying to go for the overcut, but actually I was just screwing myself over a little bit more. But I was desperate because I wanted the win, so I was being a little bit selfish. But at this stage, we will win the championship because Lucas Weber had to win this Grand Prix and we had to get worse than third place. So no matter where Weber comes at this stage, even if he comes through to take the win, he is still not going to win the championship because we are getting a full 18 points at this stage. Here you guys can see Perez is going side by side with my teammate Devin Butler. And at this stage, I was hoping and praying that Butler would hold up Perez. But he didn't do that. But Perez is on fresh mediums going to the end of the Grand Prix. There was nothing that Butler would have been able to do. And now they are under pressure from Max Verstappen as well. I also hope that Max would go for a move, a very audacious dive on Sergio Perez. But I was not that lucky type of guy. As you guys watch here now, we go onto the front wing of Mr. Lucas Weber as he is trying to mount a move here on the Red Bull and the Mercedes of Bottas, and I think this is Sebastian Vettel onto the brakes. Oh, that's very late. That is very, very late. And guys, Lucas Weber has just thrown away the Drivers' World Championship. He will not be able to, guys, he's going to be like a second a lap slower than everybody else on the grid. Oh no, guys, that is how you know the pressure has gotten to Lucas Weber, and he has literally bottled it at the final race of the season. Guys, as soon as my engineer told me that Weber was slow, I was just like, okay, Perez can win this. It is fine if Racing Point schools us. Sorry about that. Schools us in the Constructors' Championship. My focus was still on the Drivers' World Championship. I wanted to maintain that number one on the side and the front of my car. And for the final time, let's look at this absolutely beautiful tunnel here in Abu Dhabi. And the sound, just listen.
So into the track.
The echo there is just stupendous. Guys, it's lap 20. There's 8 laps to go. I went bald just like last season and went onto the softs, but Perez was long gone. And for some other reason, I should have just strapped on the mediums, but because I was desperate, I strapped on the softs, and within 3 laps, I destroyed them. And then this man, Charles freaking Leclerc, was having exceptional pace on his mediums. You guys see, I let him get the move done, so we will have DRS for the second DRS zone. I know the McLaren is stronger than the Ferrari in the engine department, not by much, but with the assistance of DRS, I could defend. So you guys see that before we get to the corner, I get the move done. But still, Charles Leclerc, just like the end of last season where he wanted that one final hurrah for Ferrari. Last season it ended in tears with him DNFing with an engine failure. But this season, he is more determined than ever. As guys, if we were going on to more seasons, that was probably my seat for next season. Remember the whole Ferrari screw job at the beginning of this season? That is probably my seat that he is fighting for to keep. So this is intense. Guys, Charles Leclerc V turbocharged 51 for P2 in this Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is having a brilliant comeback drive. He is already up into P4. I do not know what happened to my teammate. He completely had a brain fart and was nowhere in this Grand Prix. And after Lucas Weber broke his front wing and having a very, very long second pit stop, I don't even think Lucas was in the points. You guys see that I do the same move I did to Charles Leclerc just a few laps ago. I go let him pass at this straight, but guys, I cannot afford to let him pass when it comes to the final lap, because that means if he has the right amount of speed and I have a bad exit on these already terrible soft tires, I can lose P2, and I would at least like to be alongside our season-long rivals Racing Point on the podium. So you guys see it is now just 1.5 laps to go. Jeez Louise, as me and Leclerc nearly made contact there. It's side by side for the McLaren and the Ferrari. We get the move done. But that just gave me a heart attack. I nearly ran into the back of Leclerc there. That was crazy, guys. Guys, it's only half a lap to go. It is McLaren v Ferrari, and I'm sure Mattia Bonotto is screaming in Leclerc's ears, do you want to keep your seat? And Leclerc's track performance says yes. Oh no! Oh no! I just did a Lucas Weber. I've broken my front wing. Thanks to being too late into the brakes, thanks to desperateness. Guys, these tires don't have the same grip. I need to brake earlier, and I just did it. Ooh, can we get the move back? We get the move back. Okay, but it is still not over. We have to make sure to keep this position with a lot less front downforce. Guys, I can confirm it was not even yellow front wing damage. It was orange front wing damage. So that is basically half of our right front side of the front wing missing. Oh, what have I done? Guys, Leclerc is like a ravaging carnivore trying to eat and take down his prey. But it is no use. 2 corners to go. 1 corner to go. We are 2 seasons in a row the Drivers' World Champion. Yes!
This is it. You've become the Drivers' World Champion after that result. Wonderful job and well deserved.
And an incredible win for Racing Point. A brilliant performance. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Guys, it is time to celebrate! We have taken this team from being the 2nd slowest car on the grid to being a Drivers' World Champion. McLaren, thank you, thank you, thank you!
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. We also crown a new champion today, as their lead at the top is now an insurmountable one. What a great year it's been for Formula One. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, I have to give it to Lucas Weber. Cool, calm, collected, a very consistent performance, and one that he can definitely be proud of today.
With that result, the title is secure, and it's Racing Point who've claimed the honours. Their days of struggling in the midfield now seem a distant memory. They're a giant in this sport now, and truly a force to be reckoned with. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
We are the Drivers' World Champions, 2 seasons in a row, and I was a lone unit to these guys. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Guys, what a way to end our F1 2019 career mode. Stepping out like Nico Rosberg as being crowned the Drivers' World Champion. The only thing I feel I've done better is we have got 2 Drivers' World Championships in our back pocket as we head into F1 2020. And guys, if Ferrari didn't want me in the past, I think they want me now more, better than ever. And I wish there was a season 4, because I would have loved to have stuck it to either Verstappen or Leclerc.
Nice job this season. You've been performing well, and that's putting us in a strong negotiating position contract-wise. Plus, my 10%'s getting more valuable. So enjoy your break, and keep up the good work next year. Great work this weekend. It was fantastic to see you up on that podium.
What next year? Sayonara! Oh, guys, what a season, what a race. I'm not gonna lie, that final lap collision between myself and Leclerc, I thought I had just ruined it all for me.
Maybe there are better options elsewhere.
Guys, just for the fun of it, we're gonna sign for Ferrari. There is no point in not signing. I just wanted to see who would be our teammate. And guys, this is not the final F1 2019 episode. I'm gonna do a farewell episode where I will show you guys who's my teammate, all the crazy driver transfers. We will give a proper goodbye to this game. But I would just want to see what is Ferrari willing to give me after they screwed me out of a contract at the beginning, well, at the end of last season, exactly 1 year ago.
They didn't like those terms. Let's try again.
Okay. I know I'm asking a bit much. This is the biggest team on the grid, and I didn't have big expectations for qualifying in the race.
Our proposal has been accepted, so start saying your goodbyes. You'll be moving to the new team for the next race weekend.
If I could give Zach Brown a hug, I would. Oh, guys, I'm sorry I couldn't give you guys the Constructors' Championship. But Zach Brown and the boys at McLaren, you guys have done a splendid job with this car. We only had 2 upgrades fail this whole season, guys. Only 2. These boys know how to build a car, but we take the Drivers' World Championship, and that's one extra trophy for McLaren that they can display. And I think this was by far my best season ever of an F1 career mode. We were on it from Australia. I can remember we finished like P5 with basically one of the slowest cars on the grid. I mean, even I think in qualifying, Butler was just slower than me, but in practice he schooled me. And look at this now. At the end of the season, we maintained the number 1 on the car, and we are the Drivers' World Champions, and ending the season with the fastest car. That is how stuff needs to be done. But guys, like I said, there will be a farewell F1 2019 episode, and it will be one of the next videos. I'm just going to do a few time attack runs around the track, and I will show you guys how season 4 would have looked if we had more time. But guys, I'm excited for F1 2020. So please, before we go anywhere, like this video. Come on, I know I've earned your like. This is an amazing video. Come on, drop a like down below. It's only gonna take you 2 seconds. Finally, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Please share this crazy and good video with your friends. Tag me at the post of the story. I will give you a shout out on social media as well as on YouTube, especially if you've got a YouTube channel. And finally, guys, hit the subscribe down below to have all your sim racing needs met, especially your F1 2020 needs, which will be here in less than a week as of me recording this. So yeah, guys, it's time to celebrate. It's time to jam. We are the Drivers' World Champions. It is crazy. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next time. But first, before we go, let's jam! Woo! Don't you dare click off the video. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Still going. Oh, I'm wasting your time, but it's fun. It's fun. Ouch. I'll see you all next time. Cheers!